Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, Jackson is a hockey mask wearing serial killer who's becoming more and more disillusioned with the murder game. But when he meets a beautiful woman that's into him, he starts to wonder if love can break the malaise. Tonight's movie, Unmasked Part 25.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! A year that is going to be full of... well, actually, it's already full of cuts, guts, and sluts! Yes, tonight, we are going to do I guess you would consider it a horror comedy, a British horror comedy, that takes a little poke at the slasher genre, but ends up being a kind of entertaining slasher in and of itself, and that is the movie Unmasked Part 25. Unmasked Part 25, or is it Hand of Death? Part 25. Anyways, so what is this movie about? Well, it is about a somewhat disillusioned hockey mask wearing psychopath who, I don't know, it's just, I guess he's just getting into a rut. He doesn't know what he's doing with his life, and when he meets a blind woman who mistakes him for a blind date, that's double blind, isn't it? And they soon hit it off, and they fall in love, and he starts to contemplate life as a non-psychopathic killer. And let's just say it doesn't necessarily work out all that well. So, let's move on to the scores, shall we? Violence and gore, I am going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. This is a real low-budget film, but the gore effects are actually quite nice, and there is quite a bit of blood, and it is very entertaining and well done and unexpected, because generally, like, the horror comedies can tend to try to stay away from a little bit of the gore into it, but this one definitely says no. If we're gonna spoof it, we're gonna actually have to even be it to spoof it. So here it is, 3.5 out of 5. Shock value, 1 out of 5. I mean, at the beginning, there's this kind of creepy, you're not really getting into the I guess you would say comedy aspects. It really does start off more along the lines of your average slasher film, and then just kind of hits into the comedy because of the absurdity of the situation that follows. So yeah, shock value 1 out of 5. Plot, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. I think they did a good job balancing the slasher with the satire, and I know good parody has to understand its subject, and sometimes you get bad parody because they don't understand the subject, because they basically just, you know, the stereotypical, the sort of assumed that this is what this is, and this one understands the content that it's spoofing, and it does its due diligence, and is honestly, it's aware. I think it's made by people who do love horror movies and also understand the ridiculousness and the excess of horror movies that can happen too. And so I think the plot does a great job. I like the whole kind of disillusioned psychopath killer. There's a scene where lady sees him and she starts running. It's like, yeah, run, whatever. You're just gonna end up tripping on some, tripping on some vines or roots of a tree. And of course, that's what happens. He's like, this is just so pointless. Stab. So unnecessary. Chop. Anyways, but so really good. 3 out of 5. The acting is 3 out of 5. I do love the guy who plays, I believe his name is Jackson, but he's definitely supposed to be Jason. I mean, his backstory and everything just kind of falls in line with that. And I think he does a really good job. The lady who plays the the blind woman. I think she does a pretty good job. Everyone else kind of, hit or miss, but that's to be expected, especially, with a low-budget fare with no big names. And also, like some of the actor guy, I think he was just a little bit, I guess maybe a parody of the actor type. I don't know. Over hamming it up, I guess, probably. But anyways, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Moving on to Nudity, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. There are a few scenes in here, and one that, is quite nice and lasts for a little bit. But for the slasher fare, it's good to have it because it pays homage to the fact that, it's a slasher. Usually gotta have that sort of thing in there. And so sometimes the parodies will kind of like gloss over that or not even, or do something with it, but just kind of like, not show it or anything. But, give it props for having it there. 2 out of 5. Moving on to enjoyment factor, I am going to give this one a 4 out of 5. It is a funny movie. It's very entertaining. It's very amusing to me. The fact that I'm a fan of slashers and the fact that they put care and pay respect while also trashing it in ways, really tickled my senses. And sometimes, if you're too heavy-handed, it can kind of like annoy those who are like, that trope, oh my gosh, whatever. That trope isn't even really a big thing in slashers. It's just sort of something that, someone who watched like 3 of the most popular slashers watched, and then they're going to assume all of them do that. Things like that. It really shows its love and its respect while also giving the diggings in there, and very entertaining, very unexpected. I love the gore, I love the violence, I love the humor, and it's a pretty good package, so 4 out of 5. My overall impression, though, is a 3.5 out of 5. Its low budgetness does come to bear with, some of the shots. The movie feels darker. Like it feels like even like when, and I mean, I guess this is London. I guess London doesn't have sunshine. Maybe, I guess, but I don't know. The look of the film doesn't create, like, the beginning has a bit of atmosphere, and they sort of just lose most of that afterwards, and feels very, I don't know how you would say, small. It feels like, after that first act, that it's pretty much like one room, this room, that room. We do get something in the forest, which I think is something they should have done a little bit more, give it a more open feel, and like I said, not all the acting performances are great. So, overall, the package isn't the best, but 3.5 is still very good. It is way above average, and definitely elevated because of its respect for what they're sort of parodying, they're satiring, whatever you want to call it. So that is a 3.5 out of 5 for my overall impression, and that averages out to a 2.9 out of 5, which is honestly very respectable in the averages scores, and it definitely benefits from showing some violence, some decent gore, and you get, I am always a fan of heads being removed, whether they are chopped off, crushed, mangled off, or whatever, twisted up. I'm always a fan of that, and if you can get it in there and make a decent enough job of it, man, I'm gonna give you kudos. Anyways, so there you have it, Unmasked Part 25. Preview for Unmasked Part 26 in the end of the movie. No, anyways. So there you have it. Unmasked Part 25. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Have you seen it? Not seen it? Are you interested in seeing it? What do you think overall about horror comedies? Do you agree with some of my assessments? Disagree? I would like to know. And Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, you know, all that stuff, dinging the bells and whistles and jada, blah, 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 blah. I mean, no one's watching right now, so I can just say whatever I want. I can say whatever I want, and no one is listening, so ha 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 ha. Anyways... Alright, anyways, until next time, Internet, you guys stay scary, and thank you again for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And remember, everybody, if you invite a masked man off the streets to go have a beer with you because you think he's like some famous actor or whatever, you know, have a little respect for him. You know, don't just, you know, be, like, expecting him to be like, oh, man, you know, you just pulled me off the street and now I gotta go into this bar and have drinks and expect to be all, like, super happy with you guys. No, I mean, and in fact, it's possible that you're mistaken and it's actually a masked psychopath and he is gonna kill you. I'm just saying, it's something that can happen. Maybe not likely, but still something that can happen. Okay?